Today we're going to be talking about the Indus River Valley civilization and, more importantly, the belief systems inherent in that civilization. As we move further into the unit, we're going to be looking at more belief systems such as Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and some philosophies as well, like Confucianism and Taoism. It's very important that we look at these belief systems because ever since the beginning of humanity, we've tried to explain natural phenomenon. Uh, Whether it be the stars in the cosmos, or why the sun rises every day, or why the water flows, we try to give our own meaning onto nature. And that is where religion derives from. Another reason for religion is to describe or to figure out what happens after we die. That is usually a core belief of every religion, is this idea of an afterlife. So we're going to go into Hinduism, and let's get started. So, beginnings of Hinduism. Typically, for a religion, there is a founder or religious text. However, this is not the case for Hinduism. It is one of the world's oldest extant religions, and it comes from overlapping beliefs of Aryans and other Indians. So here we have a Hindu proverb: God is one, but wise people know it by many names. So a core Hindu belief is that everything is part of an unchanging, all-powerful spiritual force, Brahman. Okay, so this is like the core belief of Hindu right here. So you have to keep this in the back of your mind as we continue on with this unit. So some basic beliefs of Hinduism. So various religions of man are the path to the one God, the essential concepts. So samsara, cycle or wheel of life. So especially in Eastern religions, you see this idea of reincarnation or rebirth. Typically in Western societies, we see time more as like this a timeline from point A to point B, while more Eastern perspectives is very circular and repetitive. We also have moksha, which is another essential concept. It's that idea of liberation or release in the afterlife, this salvation of every soul. Comparatively, maybe in Christianity, it would be heaven. In this idea, it's more this reincarnation of something better. Thirdly, we have bhakti, which is a devotion or belief in God. And fourth, we have Jnana, which is the enlightenment or knowledge. So the importance of Om is this: all the gods and goddesses are this manifestation of Brahman. Okay, so Brahman encompasses all. Brahman is everything. So we talked about this idea of reincarnation, but what does that really mean? So what reincarnation is a bunch of cycles or lifetimes needed to achieve this idea of moksha. Okay, so like we said before, going back here, what is moksha? It's this idea of liberation or release. In Buddhism, this is called nirvana. So here we have an example of this idea of nirvana in Hinduism. And we have this word Atman, which is essential self, and that is reborn. The individual can keep working till moksha. You don't just get one life. You get to keep repeating this cycle, coming back as different things, different animals, until you reach this union with God, with Brahman. So we have some key moral principles of Hinduism, as we do every religion. We have asma, which is So we have key moral principles of Hinduism, as we do every religion. We have ahimsa, which is a principle of non-violence. If you've learned about Gandhi before, this is one of the principles he held very dearly. And this is the idea that Hindus believe all people and things are part of Brahman and should be respected. So this idea of we are one, this is an idea of unity. Karma, this is an idea, a Hindu principle that has kind of seeped into Western culture. And it's this idea that all actions of a person's life affect his or her afterlife. So if you ever heard the term like good or bad karma, it's what you do affects you later down the road. Only humans can change their karma by doing good deeds, but bad things happen to good people because they were bad in a past life. Here you see this reiteration of doing good things to become one with Brahman. And dharma is the religious and moral duties of every individual. These duties are related to class and occupation and gender. So you have this complete rule of life, not just right or wrong. It's this idea of a golden rule: do unto others as you would want done unto yourself. And here we have some cool visuals. Ahimsa, do not harm, non-violence, applies to all living things, including animals. So, we have the 4 stages of life. The celibate student between puberty and marriage, that's where you study the sacred texts. Householder, marriage to the birth of the first grandchild. Arranged marriages, they pursue a career and raise a family. We have the forest dweller or hermit. This is the first grandchild to return to the world detached, retreat from the world to focus on the spiritual practice and quest. And we have the sanzin, or the wanderer, and the wandering ascetic can return to society and yet be detached, neither hate nor desire. So you do see that inner peace here, number 4. And as we talked about before, we have these 4 goals: karma, arthma, dharma, and moksha. All right, so that is all for today, going over Hinduism, one of the most prominent religions in the Indus River Valley civilization. So please move on to the flipped lesson activity, and I will see you all in class. Have a great day.